Hi everyone, my name is Echo. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a singing influencer here on TikTok, and I usually don't make this kind of video, but I wanted to come on and share my personal feelings and experiences only. I'm not going to name names. This is not meant to cancel anyone. I just saw someone speak out about this today and I realized I wasn't alone, so I just wanted to come on here and share my side of the story. So a while back, I became friends with this creator who had a pretty big following, and we met through a show we were in together. And at first I thought she was very cool, very talented, and honestly I felt very bad for some of the stuff she had gone through in her life. I think a lot of people in her life felt bad for her, and I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. I'm just saying that it began to become an excuse for behavior that wasn't okay. So the first red flag for me was a game of truth or dare. We were in a small group, but the game got really weird really fast. People were being asked super uncomfortable questions, clothing was being asked to come off, and I remember feeling super uncomfortable, but I didn't grow up in an environment where I had played those games before, so I guess I thought it was normal and I was overreacting, so I felt like I had to play to fit in. During this game, she asked us to hide our phones. She made us turn all of them off so we couldn't record or take photos of anything. Didn't want to be a buzzkill, and she was laughing and making it seem like it was normal, and so I just didn't say anything because I didn't know if it would be an overreaction. Then we went on this trip together, and we were staying in the house with a few friends and her partner at the time, and I remember noticing that she was being very pushy with her partner, but I didn't want to say anything because I felt like that wasn't my place and I didn't want to start any drama. At the beginning of the trip, we had a miscommunication with some of the plans and she got really upset with me. Even though I apologized, I felt like I was walking on eggshells with her most of the time. I felt like everyone had to be on her side. She kept saying it was her trip, and she would either get really passive aggressive or ice people out if they didn't do things how she wanted them done. First night of the trip, we were all filming content together by the pool in the house. We had all just gone swimming, we were in bathing suits, and she wanted to film this TikTok where I would flirt with her partner and she would flirt with her friend, so it would be messy and do well, and it would look like we were cheating. And I immediately told her that not only was I uncomfortable with what I was wearing, but I was uncomfortable making the video, and I have text proof of that. She didn't confirm that she wasn't going to post the video, so the text is from the next morning of me asking her not to post it and saying that I wasn't comfortable with that. But the night of, she was just laughing and saying, oh no, just no one will care, just tell your mom, it's just a joke, my fans will just get it's a joke. That same night we were playing truth or dare again, and similar questions were coming up and similar dares were coming up, and I felt very pressured to do some stuff I didn't want to do. One of the questions asked was for me to kiss her partner. I immediately remember questioning why she would be okay with that, your friend kissing your partner while you're dating them, and she just laughed it off and was like, no, it's just a game, it's normal. So we went through with the dare, and she said she wasn't looking and she had us do it again. And I pulled her partner aside that night, and we both agreed that we were super uncomfortable with the situation that we were put into. But again, we both didn't know if we were overreacting because we didn't have a lot of experience playing these kinds of games, and we didn't know if it was normal like she was telling us it was. But later her friend pulled me aside and told me that she had been in a very similar situation once, and that made me feel less alone. But still, I felt like it was an overreaction because we just kept moving on with the trip. On the last day of the trip, we threw a little party at our house, and we had some friends over, and her partner and I had worked very hard to set up the party and make sure everything was calm and no one was upset about anything. And so when everyone decided they wanted to go to another party after ours, we decided that we didn't want to go because we didn't want to deal with the drinking or the chaos, and we just wanted to stay home and relax. I also was going to stay home because I had a flight very early in the morning and I wasn't trying to be out late. And the second everyone left, her partner kind of opened up to me about how mistreated and exhausted she was feeling, and that's all we did. We just talked, and I tried to keep the mood light. We cooked in the kitchen, we ate brownies, we watched Try Not to Laugh, and then we went to bed and nothing happened. Woke up the next morning and everything was fine. I woke up pretty early from my flight, and the creator walked in and I was like, oh, are you going to the gym? She's like, no, I just got home from the party. And I remember being a little oh, why'd you get home so late? And she was like, oh, I was drinking, but I'm not telling my partner. And I just remember everyone was a little tense because of that situation. The partner overheard it and they began fighting over that. So I stayed in touch with everyone. I flew home, everyone else flew home, and then things began to get a lot more tense. I stayed in touch with her partner, who was very exhausted, very emotionally drained, and all of a sudden I got a text that the creator was accusing me and her partner of being together. I am hopelessly straight. Now you guys know what happened in the house while the creator was out at the party. Nothing happened, but I've read before about psychological projection. When someone does something bad, they accuse their partner of doing the same thing to kind of take the blame off of them or make them feel better about what they did. And I think that at the party, something happened that led her to accuse me and her partner of being together. Or that's just my opinion, that's not a proven fact. So eventually the accusations led to a very tense situation and a very messy breakup. I didn't take sides. I wanted to stay out of it. I wasn't involved in it in any way. And I asked the creator directly, please keep my name out of anything public. She promised she wouldn't, but I definitely had zero trust in what she said. The breakup dragged on for weeks. I kept hearing that she was threatening to post things to, quote, ruin me. She allegedly took her partner's phone and had made fake screenshots that she was going to post. And I cannot explain to you the fear that I felt knowing that someone with a big platform was going to use that to lie and try and ruin me over a situation that didn't happen. I felt like I had to constantly check in, reassure her that I wasn't taking sides, apologize for things I hadn't even done just so she would keep my name out of things publicly. And honestly, I think it was probably the most mentally exhausted and stressed I've ever been in my life. Eventually, I stopped reaching out, I stopped engaging with her, I just made sure that I wasn't involved and that I wouldn't be dragged into any public drama that was obviously going down. I felt like I couldn't speak up about the situation because I knew how easily she could turn hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people against me, and I didn't want to deal with that. So the reason I'm coming on here to talk about this is that I saw another creator post about it, being forced into situations they didn't want to be in, and I realized that I wasn't alone. I don't want clout, I don't want to cancel anyone, I just want to say that I think this creator should step off of social media and seek genuine mental and professional help. Social media pressure, views, followers, how your video is going to do doesn't excuse pushing people's boundaries and making people do things that they don't feel comfortable doing. However, I feel like I'm not the only person who's experienced this, but I feel like this creator has such a forgiving fan base and is using her trauma to justify her mistreatment of different people. I just want to say, if you ever think that you're overreacting in a situation where you're uncomfortable, you're entitled to your feelings and you're definitely not overreacting. Don't be afraid to speak up. Thank you so much for listening. Love you guys so much.